physically or mentally.
Welcome
it up.
to the March 19th, 2026 Budget Committee. We are meeting this evening with the Select Board to discuss the 4 articles that did not pass at the March town meeting that need to be revisited. And I believe there is a special town meeting, that is looking to take place for these. Usually the first order of business, as the new committee meets, is to elect officers for the new year, but I'm going to make the recommendation that we hold on that, given the fact that Susan is not here, and we may be waiting for the board to appoint a 5th member.
Sounds good to me.
Is that
2 members.
2 members?
March 30th, I'm done. That's what I signed up for.
March 30th, so potentially 2 members. So I would like to make the recommendation that we hold elections at a different time, if you guys are all
I'll
set.
second that.
Okay. All in favor? Good, okay. Now that that's out of the way, the first article that I've been told that did not pass was Article 13 on the warrant for March election, which is shall the town vote to transfer $15,000 from the unassigned account to the contingency account and authorize the municipal officers to utilize it as they deem advisable to meet unanticipated expenses and emergencies that occur during the year. This article did not pass at the March meeting, so I will open it up for discussion to see what the new article we have is Article 2, and the amount is blank. That's being presented to us.
All right, so what did the selectmen recommend for an amount?
You're still saying it was 15,000?
There was 15,000 originally.
15 was voted down. Okay. What did we use last year?
According to the financials we spent, Steve, up here, you can see we spent $8,431,
Okay.
according to the financials that we have.
All right, so why don't we put $10,000?
From the board, I would look for a motion to read, shall the town vote to transfer $10,000 from the unassigned account to the contingency account and authorize municipal officers to utilize as they deem advisable to meet unanticipated expenses and emergencies that occur during the year, and recommend a yes vote.
So moved.
Motion to second. Is there any discussion? I just think that if I think we budgeted for 15. Did we budget 15?
15 you
Last
used
year?
84.
We used 84. This is something that you don't know if emergencies come up, but we can always, hopefully they don't, and we can cross that bridge when we get to it. So if there's no further discussion, all those in favor? All right. Select Board recommends yes for 10,000.
For 10,000.
So I'll make a recommendation that the budget committee vote to have 10,000.
Can I just ask, what is the process? Because it says as deemed advisable to meet unanticipated expenses and emergencies. Do you notify the public or announce them at select board meetings that this is going to be coming out of contingency, and tell them where or why it wasn't budgeted for and why it's an emergency?
Supposed to.
Supposed to.
Supposed to.
We've always done that.
Yeah, I think when it comes time when we authorize the money to be spent out of that account, we have a motion on the floor at the board meeting for it to come out of said account. I can't remember off the top of my head what exactly the 84 was used for without.
And I just have,
Yeah.
I have invoices, federal SAM, Article 10 contingency, reverse 4, invoice 254, no PO. So without having some level of detail here
Yeah.
to tell me who the vendors were, I couldn't tell you what they were used for either.
But I think this year they're going to have POs.
They are going to have, should have POs, they should have had POs
Right.
last year.
Right.
But again, we don't know who the PO is, so if the description is PO 254, Are you guys gonna remember what PO 254 was? We're not gonna have any description or know what that was.
Should be a matter of record.
So is the treasurer gonna pull every PO for us so that we can flip through and go, PO 254 is actually, vendor, modem waves for an emergency crash of computers?
Why can't we put the vendor beside the number?
Isn't there, excuse me, a column there that says, I can't read that from here, so, you always used to be a vendor number in the report.
This is what, I took a snippet of the detailed, so you can see it says 4/14/2025, or let's just use 8/21/2025, A0407, invoice 254, no PO, $2,500.
Okay, the A means the account, the journal number, so that's where they would go to find out who it's for.
Who would go in the accounts payable vendor
In
listing?
the amounts payable, you would go pull up that, I would pull out that report for you folks and tell you who the vendor is because of the amount and whatnot. That's how it would be cross-referenced in that particular report the trio has.
So are we going to start getting vendor listings to tell us who vendor to,
You don't have a vendor number there, you said, those are journals.
or journal? Right, so again, we would need some type of reporting from the treasurer's office to tell us who that is and the detail of some type behind it. Do you see what I'm saying? You guys are not gonna remember who this is or what it was for, at this level of detail, and we're gonna come back and start asking.
Yeah, or could they put the name, or could they add the name to it, and that would help out?
Just a different form of report that does say the vendor, who it does, you go by the account
Yeah,
and it shows it, like what we would.
yes, there's some way where
Yeah,
the
so
number
just
would
another
match the
report
vendor.
that be provided to the select board and the budget committee so that they can continue.
You get it in the reports that's on that list that I had nothing to say about, of all the reports being made, that I'm being instructed to do.
Okay, I haven't seen it yet, but maybe,
And it was out there and got voted on, so.
okay.
All right, so I got the motion.
Second.
Any further discussion for $10,000? So the article now reads, is now Article 2. Shall the town vote to transfer $10,000 from the unassigned account to the contingency account and authorize the municipal officers to utilize as they deem advisable to meet unanticipated expenses and emergencies that occur during the year? Select board recommended yes vote. I'll take a vote from the board.
How much money was in there before?
We lowered it from 15,000 down to 10,000 now.
On the same thing, on Article 3?
No, we're still talking, I think you guys
We're
still
on
need to vote on Article 2.
Oh, you're still on
We
two?
haven't voted yet.
Oh.
We haven't officially voted. Is that a yes from you, Steve?
Yes.
Wendy?
Abstain.
And that is a yes from me. And I'm gonna probably, I don't know if I'm gonna find these articles. The next one was the legal and professional that failed on the floor. 21, thank you. The article that failed is, shall the town vote to raise and appropriate $163,126 for professional and legal for the ensuing year? The select board recommended yes, the budget committee recommended no. So the new article will be Article 3, and there, again, it's no dollars. Shall the town vote to raise and appropriate for auditor dues, insurances, software, and legal for the ensuing year? So we would need some type of recommendation from the board. And I just have 2 questions before you, but you can recommend an amount if you want to stay with the amount first.
What we had last year was 86,400.
We had 133,240 in legal and professional.
You actually had 155, I believe.
But this is professional and legal. If you look down on the
And you,
On the sheet, it
Right,
says
was that-
86,400.
right, so Howard, so this was your 2025 budget, was 155.
Right.
You actually spent, according to the financials, 137, and you're asking for 163. Now, there were some questions about legal services here, and there was also I have questions regarding the legal services and the audit services. So I can propose my questions, and you guys can then think of an amount that you'd like to propose. In 2025, we had a legal fund of 40,000. We spent 31,000 according to the financials. You're asking for 41,400, so 10,000 more than we actually spent. And then for legal, the auditor was 11,700. We spent 22,270. We know that that was extenuating circumstances, given all of the things going on. I would hope that we're not anticipating that to continue in 2026. So I guess my question would be, do we truly need to raise and appropriate $25,000?
Well, they're looking at a new auditor. You don't know do you have a price what the new auditor's going to be? Any idea?
I was thinking of that when I was
'Cause
working
that's
on
what I
this
would
this
look at.
afternoon. I want to say we had one figure came in 26,000,
Okay.
but
Of course,
But-
this
well-
year, there'll be more, this year will probably be more expensive, because
that
audit
figure
is
now,
gonna go back through.
now to think about it, that figure was from a company we're probably not going to use because they don't have the space for us to get in there. So it should be less than that. One auditor I've been talking to, it claimed it should be a lot less than what we've been paying.
Yeah,
But because of what we went through here last year, there's quite a bit of cost involved.
Right, and we're not
And
anticipating
I-
that this year,
No.
but you're raising the dollars as if we're anticipating that to happen. And I think that was part of the questions that we had, was you didn't have a firm bid from a new auditing firm yet. And the other question is, do we need to raise the legal expenses $10,000 more than what we actually spent?
On my expense report that was printed for 1/5/26, I have us spending $36,447 in legal.
Okay, so even if you spent 36,000, do you need to still raise for almost, 41,400, or can we leave the budget flat at 40,000?
I would think that'd be more than enough. I would say,
I mean, it's hard to say. I would be fine. The number that I wrote when I was going through it earlier was 35, with the idea of using MMA legal more for this year. I know this last year, there was a lot of different things that were reached out to the town attorney about, and looking back, it probably could have gone to MMA. I don't know if MMA would have covered it, but going forward, I've started reaching out to MMA legal just as a first point of reference.
for the most part, Brady, they won't write articles for you.
Correct.
They'll give you some advice, but they're a good tool to use.
Yep.
And all the legal notes that they have are very, very good tools to refer to.
Yeah.
I've seen some of our questions there.
And if you look at legal too, a lot of your legal is code.
Code enforcement.
But a chunk of that was the recall issue, wasn't it?
13,000.
Which won't be
Which won't be an issue this year.
an issue. I mean, yeah, not in that office, it won't be an issue, and somebody could pull a recall on me, I don't.
I would be comfortable with 30,000 on it, but
I need the
Well,
board.
you have your contingency to fall back on. I mean, you can't rely on it, but, you know, if you get near the end of the year and you haven't used it, you could fall back on that. Or you have a special town meeting to raise and appropriate, to take from unassigned.
Or in the June or the
You
November.
got June, November, so
Right,
things
right.
can
Well, it
wait.
depends how far you get.
My thought process was, is we didn't expend the full balance that we had allotted.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of things that had come up that were one-time incidents, anomalies that probably are not going to happen again, or that we hope don't happen again. So, you know, do we leave it flat at 40? It's already in your tax commitment, or you can lower it. But to raise it, it just didn't
Makes sense.
make sense. And the same with the auditing firm. It didn't make sense to raise it.
I
All
don't
right.
disagree.
So do you want to let out a figure that you're happy with before they,
No, I want the select board to tell me what they want.
we're having a
Well,
standoff
No, I'm
here.
just saying,
Yeah.
I'd be comfortable on the legal, go with 30, and on the auditor, go with 20. Because on the auditor, we spent 22,270, so,
Right,
and they did a lot more work than,
and we're getting a new auditor.
and we're getting a new auditor, which the indications I've got so far talking to another one is it will be cheaper.
So if we were to change the 25,000 to 20, right? And we were to take legal to 30, is that your proposal, Howard?
Yeah.
That would drop that balance to 146,726.
Which is still more than the actual from last year.
It's a little up, but we also have, some trio things in here, right? We increased the FMLA costs because we moved that into one account, right? So we took it out of everybody's individual budget and moved it here.
Yeah.
That's a little bit of your increase. That's 6,000 of your 10,000 increase.
We had to add money
And
into
you
the
had to-
accessibility website
Right.
that we have to,
And we had to do, right, because it has to read to
so
you
that
or
was going
something.
up, that went
was
up
going up.
$1,000, but that's gonna be significant amount of work to make that ADA.
Well, we have
That's
I don't exactly know which one it is, but we've got computer MRI. What's that one, Julie, do you remember?
MRI is the payroll
Payroll.
company, and that's
We
in
s-
the that's an administrative costs, so.
But, there again, it's down here, it's under professional. Now we spent 22,270 on. Pardon me, it was 10,416, we budgeted 9,500. So,
Do you need me to blow that up for you, Wade? I got it.
Actually, all the other figures that are in that category, the legal and professionals, we pretty much came in on budget actually under budget.
Yeah,
One,
With the exception of auditor.
So Stephanie, why don't you
Yeah.
give us that magic number?
I did, it's 146,726.
Except for 726?
146,726.
If that's what the board agrees on.
Well, that's what I'm wondering, yeah.
So yeah, that would drop the legal services from 41,400 down to 30, and the auditor from 25,000 down to 20. I would look for a motion from the board to have Article 3 read, shall the town vote to raise and appropriate $146,726 for auditor, dues, insurances, software, and legal for the ensuing year. Select Board recommends yes.
Second.
So moved.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor? All right, so the Select Board recommends yes.
So how much lower is it?
It dropped from 163 to 146 and change. It went down roughly 16,400 in quick math. No?
Okay.
Yeah.
I would like
You
to,
want to make the motion, or you want me to make a motion?
go ahead, you make the motion.
I'll make a motion, we go with the 146,726.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Abstained or
Abstain.
Exactly 16.4.
Maybe you can connotate that it's 16.4 less than it was. Voters will know that, Stephanie.
So the next article is administrative costs. What article? 26, thank you.
Are we going to put a note on this to say that this is the revote of Article da-da-da-da
26.
on the,
Because they may refer to, are we going to give them a new green sheet to, when they vote at the town meeting?
it'd just be clarity for
Just for
the voters,
clarity?
I would think.
You have a lot to do in 24 hours.
Well, no, it would make,
Oh, I agree. But that's
Article
just-
26 that was voted down.
So Article 26 that was voted down, shall the town vote to raise and appropriate $45,625 for administrative costs for the ensuing year? It's the same article, but with a blank. So just a couple of observations. This one was very messy. Some things changed, but I think I kind of figured it out that this 6,000 is actually for modem waves.
He's in that.
He's in that total, because I was like, where's modem waves? And I guess, and that's why I didn't see it down here. But I wanted to make sure that, because we only spent $2,500. And so do we need to reduce that? And then Spectrum, we spent $6,000, but we're only raising $3,000. So I want to make sure we're raising and appropriating enough money. And here's my concern about modem waves. I don't think we have an active contract with him currently.
That is correct.
Okay, so it is up for renegotiation, or?
Yeah, so we did a little bit, just some background history.
Yeah,
We did
please.
a little bit of research, met with 2 companies that reached out about admin services or website, computer services. And one of them gave us a proposal back with a charge of $1,500 per month, plus an hourly charge. And then one didn't respond, so we reached out to Modem Waves with a few questions to see if they can add some stuff to the services that they provide and provide a proposal, and that proposal has not come back in. That proposal has not come back in. Alicia reached out to them.
Have we given him a deadline to respond back to us?
I don't think so.
I'd like to say something.
Yeah.
Can I speak
Yeah.
on it? On Chris's behalf, I know, and Alicia will say the same thing. We got an email that he would do it and do it for the same price this year. I have asked him to get it to us. I did not give him a deadline. He said he would. Mike didn't know that he hadn't till this evening, so I will call him first thing in the morning and put a fire on the young gentleman.
My other concern here is listening to the selectmen's meetings over the course of the year, he is not providing adequate services to this town. And typically, when we have a vendor that is not providing services that we deem warranted, we have terminated the contract. So if he is not providing the services to the scale in which the citizens or the employees need, then why would we continue to raise and appropriate taxation and use a vendor that is not benefiting the taxpayers and the employees of this town?
Well, one of the vendors that we spoke to was over in Leamington. That was a $30,000 proposal.
Yeah, it was $1,500 per month.
It's,
I understand that, Howard, but again, it goes
seems
back
that
to where
it's-
he's not meeting what we need,
It seems that he responds to some people better than others.
and that shouldn't be.
I agree.
well,
Okay? I can tell you as an employee of this town and as a member sitting on this budget committee, I am still waiting to get into my Town of Limerick email that has been in process for a year and a half, because I can't get into Microsoft Exchange and I can't get him to respond to me. So as an employee, I'm frustrated. As a budget committee member, I'm frustrated. I can't, and I know I'm not the only one. So if we have a vendor that is not performing to what the town standards need, I think it needs to be addressed. You guys have addressed it with the plowing contract. You guys have addressed it with every other contract. Why not this one? Fair question, right? If you can just,
well, what Brady said is, it depends, well, for whatever reason, it depends on who calls him, a lot of times.
yeah, Howard, that doesn't sit well with me.
I know, but I'm also looking at, if we're getting services, let's say 1,500, and somebody else wants to charge us 30, I can see a
We're
little
not
bit
getting the
of,
services for
I can see it.
1,500.
We're getting services, but we're not getting them snap, like you're talking about.
I waited a year and a half, Howard, for services.
I know. Well, I'll use this as an example. Julie's printer went down. And we asked for, well, she asked for referrals. And he did that very quickly, found a vendor and got it. So,
And he did it for Stan, and he did it for Dottie as well. And I'd like to say, as far as with the trio, we get answered 24/7, because I have reached out to him on the weekends as well. I'm not offending him, but that is
No.
means, and Trio uses him as a consultant. And that's
I'm
the
just
way, if
saying-
you're gonna change our system, then
I'm just saying that if he's going to be a vendor of choice, then he needs to provide services to everyone on equal footing, regardless of the topic. If we need IT services, as an employee, as an elected official, as a town employee, I would hope that he is treating everyone the same. That has not been my experience. Go ahead.
I know when we have a Verizon issue, we go through a single person. Different people don't call. When we have a consolidated issue, I think it goes through one person. It might elevate to a select board member or something, but people are assigned. So rather than have everybody calling him, and he doesn't even probably know who's on the other end, it might be good to change that model and assign a person that takes those tickets, we'll say, from different people and keeps a track and also works with him, and he becomes comfortable with that person.
Well, that's what it should be. We shouldn't have 40 people calling the guy.
40 people are calling him.
Well,
well,
that's-
yes, she's right.
Oh, absolutely, but I'm saying in this new deal with him, you ought to say, well, we have one contact person, everybody.
And that person can work on the list with him,
Right.
and they're talking to everybody in
The guy's
town.
not going to answer 40 people.
Well, I think it would be confusing, for
One of the
him.
questions in the proposal that we're waiting for, yes, he did say that he would do it for the same price, but we did reach out to ask a few questions if he had a ticketing system based off priority and stuff like that. And if he did, what the increase would be. I see both good and bad having one person reaching out to them. That adds a task to somebody else that we're paying a contractor to do. That would add a task to another person in here in their busy offices to keep track of that.
But it doesn't have to be. He can set up a website.
Yep, and that's
In which we can each log a ticket, and he can respond to and prioritize, and he can put that out on the town's SharePoint site or a website that the select board can access to see who has a ticket out there and for what task and how long it took him to respond to, and the Board of Selectmen have the visibility into that.
So how about if you have the department, each department head?
Could
doing
have
that
each
instead of-
department head.
Site,
A
Instead of,
what?
what is the SharePoint site?
It's a site that is a collective, so basically, it's,
Who used to use it?
well, you would determine that. So it could be the select board and Modem Waves, period. Okay, and so,
You just said everybody could use it, and I know nothing about it, so.
well, it's a share site, it's a site where you all collect information.
Do we already
So-
have a town one?
I don't think,
You have
I was-
Microsoft Office
Yes.
365.
I was gonna say, I don't know of a SharePoint if we have one.
You have,
We don't have a bona fide site, that's what I'm saying.
no, well, you have to model it.
Microsoft Office.
But you have, I believe
to
you have
build
the
it, but
software.
Microsoft Office does offer it now.
Microsoft Office
Well,
does it.
you just said it right. You gotta build it. We don't
You
have
have
it
to,
built.
yes.
we don't have it now, so it's
You
something
don't
to add
have it, but
on.
it is something that you can do.
With
where it's a
Microsoft Office.
collaboration site. So he's sharing information with the select board, and the select board's information is sharing information with him. So all of these tickets, he could put on this SharePoint site. You could say, I want it dated, I want to know what the task is, I want to know when it was reported, and when it was resolved.
And that's what's being given to you with this $1,500 a month. That's part of that. They already have it.
They already have it
They-
built.
So my other suggestion is that, yes, you want to work with Modem Waves this year, but what's stopping you from getting more quotes and understanding what's going on in the world other than Waterford? Thank you.
So they can modify that. And they
Yes,
could have department heads.
you could have department heads.
Well, you'd have one person from
In
the
each
budget
department.
committee, and that would, better than, the poor guy with 40 or 50 people calling.
Your IT department, which you don't have, would manage your SharePoint, okay?
Yeah.
You don't have one.
That's right,
on
but
site.
it's
No,
a
Modem
changing,
Waves is our-
evolving.
yeah.
It's
I'm
a
just-
change evolving, so when this comes up, now we can rectify the problem.
Each department's putting in their ticket, so to speak. At least we could have access to that and look at it and say, this needs to be addressed, certain things need to be addressed if it's got
It-
so many days on it.
Right, you would
It's
have
like what-
some
But
data.
we don't have that now.
Right.
Right.
You have it with FOIA in a very rudimentary way, where Dottie takes those, you see how you've got people taking and
We've
putting
got-
tickets in.
We've got it. I don't know a thing about it.
FOIA, it's
Howard,
on
it's right on
the,
the website.
it's on the website. It's published all the time.
But everything's
Using it for
splintered.
this.
No, it's,
It's all splintered. We got to come together with it.
read the
Yeah.
website, that's all I can say. If you need lessons on the website,
This is
we'll,
another problem with communication, Gail.
I don't know how, which thing?
And the same thing with the website. So just like the budget committee has a site, and we have a username and password, where we go in and we put our working papers, right? All of the budgets that come into us. And it helps so that we don't have to have everybody printing paper for us all the time. You could take and set up a IT website or an IT SharePoint site where if he received an email, he could log it into this log. Then you're going to know what type of IT issues you're having in this community. Whether it's a printer, whether it's a photocopier, I don't know what he does, I know we have other copiers. But you're going to know who is having those issues, Is there a department that has a greater need? Because they logged 15 tickets this year versus the budget committee that only logged 1. Do we need to take and assess that? So now you start to have a little bit more information to make better informed decisions.
Do you realize how long it's going to take Judy or Dee Dee to put in if they have problems with their coding of their real estate or the motor vehicles, or me with the budget thing? Because we can call Chris and tell him immediately, and he knows, and he'll tell us he'll get back to us. So I'm gonna take time, Judy is and Dee Dee is, and we're gonna type all of this. Then we have to wait to make sure it's been sent to Chris.
You can call him and he can log a
You just said you
ticket.
would've said no.
No, you can call him, log a ticket, got a call about Trio, general ledger coding from the treasurer's office. Boom.
There's a paper trail.
It's a paper trail. We now know how many times you're calling Chris. Is there a problem with Trio where we have to then go to Harris and say upgrade, or something along that line?
We go through Chris because he's the upgrade to Harris.
We need better information as who's calling what, when, and where.
We need a better paper trail.
We need a better paper trail. Just like we do with the FOIA requests, we send them to Dottie, she lists them out. You guys see them on the website, you know. They're right on the website, they're on the
I don't
town.
have time when I'm
Well,
doing it,
I'm,
but whatever, I'm gonna dump him.
Well, the thing is, Julie, if you're having a problem and you call him and nobody else knows about it,
I'm the only one doing the posting though.
well, but the fact of the matter is, if he's not getting back to you, at least we would know to put a fire under him.
you can intervene
Because
on
it'd
your
be just
behalf.
like with Trio, when I was accused of doing something through the posting, and Trio said it was their problem, but I got ripped over.
I'm
and
not
everything.
trying
Well-
to push blame, I'm just trying to
I'll
say,
do whatever you say, put it in writing, please.
I'm just saying that as you guys are looking at this contract, if we could have a central depository for who's calling him, who's asking him to do what, and how long it's taking him to resolve the ticket, or if he can't resolve the ticket, and then he comes to you and says, I can't resolve this ticket, you guys need to spend $500 on software.
You know,
But-
I know this is a good idea, but you could probably incorporate this into, because now we're losing a very good employee. She's going out the door, and I wish she would stay. But when you hire that new person, you need to hire somebody who has that knowledge, the knowledge that she's taking with her, and maybe some more knowledge to it.
Requirement.
Huh?
That should be a requirement.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
We don't have
But so we
requirements for
can't,
much around the
we
town.
can't fix that right now,
No.
but you can look at that when you start hiring the person. You know, what you need out of she's an assistant.
And to put money to this situation, you know, right now, I guess you can say we're getting by, but we'd like to have something better.
Correct.
Then maybe, like Laura's saying, June or some other time, if we see that, hey, you know, we need to put some more money into this,
Right.
then we can do it.
But I'm just asking, there were a lot of, as I went through and looked at and listened to the select board's meetings, there was a lot of times Modem Waves was not responding to individuals' asks, right? Alicia?
Oh, yeah, no, my laptop's never worked correctly.
So
in the 2
this
years
would
I've had
lend
it.
some credibility to the fact that you guys would have visibility into when the employee first brought it to the attention of your IT professional, and you can start to follow up with him and say, when is this going to be resolved? You guys can't keep track of them one-off. There's just no way.
The big problem here is you've got one individual that's handling not only our town, but other towns, plus Freiburg Fair, which is a biggie, okay? During the week of Freiburg Fair, you cannot get hold of him. As simple as that. But, having said that, if we're dealing, let's say, for 1,500 or 2,000 bucks a year for that service. But if we go with one of these other ones and they're saying, well, we're gonna do it for 30,000, well, I'd be damn sure I wanna have them here within 2 seconds if I call them.
I
So-
agree, but
So we gotta,
in your contract negotiations, there's what they call service level agreements.
Yeah.
SLAs. And when you enter into that agreement, you say that a reported trouble ticket is responded to within 48 hours. If that is not responded to in 48 hours, we can deduct from your payment. So as you're going through this contract, I would like to see if that could be a possibility where he could set up some type of log so that you could see who's reporting the issue, follow up, make sure that it's been addressed, and if it hasn't, you also have addressed a service level ability that says, if you don't address this, and you can say, excluding the Freiburg Fair week, because we know that that's a big week for you, okay? But it's written in the rules, and people understand when to pay him full, maybe when to deduct, because Alicia's been waiting for, how long have you been here, Alicia?
It'll be 4 years, but my laptop too.
Two years for her laptop to be fixed. I've been waiting at least a year and a half for my email, my Town of Limerick email address to be fixed.
What's wrong with it?
I'm gonna
I
see if
can't even
can
log
fix
in.
that for you.
I had difficulty last night, and
No, I
I figured out the issue. And I got in just like that.
Nope, I have
And I
never
get it
been
on my
able to
phone
log
right
in.
now. Yeah.
Never been able to log into it.
Neither have I.
Do you have some sort of security?
I was gonna say, have you tried?
No. Not. All right,
But
so
anyway,
let's
so,
move on from that.
so I just would like you to look at your Spectrum internet. You spent a lot more than what you're asking for. I do know now that Modem Waves is in here. I had Modem Waves down here, because, so they're moving between general ledger accounts. So can we decide on where we're going to put them? Because in 2025, he was in dash 36, now he's in dash 30, which created some of the confusion of trying to figure out what you guys were actually spending in this account. So, and there was also another $3,200 that wasn't, so you're asking for 45,000, and what you actually spent is that 45?
41,
45,1.
no. We spent 41,180.
41,180, okay. Oh, because, well, I'm not taking out the incorrect post, but if I do that,
So you're saying deduct the $6,000 from modem, that was it?
yeah, I got 41,978. I don't think that this,
But in taking that out, though, you're gonna mess up another article here, aren't you?
well, this 32 is hardware. This is computer hardware that, some of this is computer hardware that franchise fees should have bought, I think, because it belonged to the television, but it doesn't matter. I guess it's 3,500, it's incidentals, but,
It's 3,500.
or 3,200. So, you know,
So what
what
does
is
it
your,
bring it to if we change the one to 3,000?
well, if Modem Waves is here and you guys are gonna renew the contract, it should probably stay at 6,000.
He's $3,000.
Is he $3,000?
He's $3,000, that's what his quote is, and that's for
Okay.
so many hours for the year.
I think it's for 40 hours for the year.
And then it's 75, I think it was 75, actually, I have the text,
It's 75 an hour.
Yeah.
after 40 hours.
So you want to cut that to 4,000?
Not up to me.
Well, I'm just saying, we got it,
It's $3,000 for 40 hours, and then after 40 hours is $75 an hour.
and what did we spend last year?
We spent, I have $2,500 that we spent.
No, you didn't spend
Oh, we didn't spend, that's MRI?
No, the title's wrong.
Oh, the title's wrong. Anyway, we didn't spend any of that, 6,000.
Okay. So we didn't spend any, but it's in again this year.
We had to have paid him.
Something, somewhere.
Somewhere.
Don't see,
Detailed expense reports were sent to all of you.
I couldn't find him when I searched on Wave or Modem.
Sorry, but he got paid.
I've definitely signed a warrant for him.
Yeah.
So, don't know, it could be under
Where he is on the
PO
report.
27 for all I
I have to go look, I don't know. We've been working all the way back to 22 this week, today.
So, the question becomes is, do you want to leave the 6,000 in there? And do you want to look at your Spectrum bill?
Well,
Spectrum,
Because like on the print, expense printout from, like I said, 1/5/26, I have contracted services only at 6,748 out of 9,000. So I'm like, I don't know where, like in Spectrum.
we're gonna
well,
deal,
that's, I have $6,600. So,
It's,
if we're gonna be setting up this reporting problem thing, I would say keep it what it is.
the $6,000.
Yeah.
That's fine. But then out of your, so then, did you, if I look, just trying to look to see, you had supplies, mileage, here's MRI. I got overlapping screens. There's posted. I'm trying to find Spectrum.
Well, how much did we spend last year?
Supplies, 22.
I just don't have it as being over on this.
Do you know how much,
We
we
weren't
spent?
over. I'm not saying we were over.
No.
Contracted services under the administrative, budgeted 9,000.
Yeah, I only have spent 67,480.
I had 6618.
I have 54.52 on 128.
Oh, 120. Well, this one's closest to the end of the year.
Yeah.
And, right.
Or maybe
and-
I don't.
Oh, even if we say you spent 6,000 out of the,
And you're only budgeting 3.
Well, I guess what my confusion is on the expense summary, the contracted services are all together.
Mm-hmm.
So, but then split out.
Yeah, so we have group dynamics,
So we
Spectrum,
just-
grant writing, which we moved to 3061, and group dynamics, which was paid out of 3034. So these were budgeted, see, this is part of the confusion. The green sheet has them in one account, or the green sheet, and then you paid them out of a different account than what the green, so it's very
Well,
confusing.
that's why I was not, yeah.
So that's why.
What do you mean we're over on that?
And so here's your 2,000 for your website improvements, right?
Yes, I was wrong, yeah, sorry.
So that's there. So this makes up the 45, whoops.
Well, the amount, I think we did 1,000. Or added, I can't remember, but it's 2,000.
Right. So if I add up all of these, all of the individual lines, that is your 45,000 that you're asking for.
Yeah.
So the question is, do we leave modem waves at 6,000? You guys are saying yes. And now you have contracted services, which you've spent 66, and you're budgeting 3.
Yeah, but what other than modem waves are those contracting services? What companies?
So you have advertising, Howard, you have
What?
advertising, you have the registry of deeds, you have group dynamics, You have your equipment leases for your photocopiers. You have your postage, and you have some miscellaneous supplies. And you have some training and seminars.
Your registry of deed went from $19 to $25 a sheet. The postage is going up again.
Oh, right, and I'm not doubting those things. I'm just trying to make sure that your contracted services for group dynamics and Spectrum, you have enough money for.
And I would say if we spent close to 7, I would say that should round up to 7. Increase it by 4, increase it by the 4.
Because you actually spent, what, 47, we said?
That's 6618.
Right.
So, I mean, so yeah, it needs,
We gotta be
I
at
would say
least
that-
7 to even be close to what we did last year.
Okay, so the people voted down the 40,
7,
The
Yeah.
people voted down
down the
because-
45, now we're gonna go up?
yep.
Okay.
They'll vote for it if you guys vote for it.
Well, it's not that. It's, we need to be able to
We're
explain to
trying
them.
to explain what's going
Okay.
on.
Just say
And
what the
that's-
articles
And you
that-
guys are struggling to explain it to us.
Okay, well, I guess I just, yeah, it's completely different than,
But we
I
have,
don't,
we have so many grant writing across the board
Yeah.
in departments.
Well,
And this is another 5,000 that last
So-
year, there was nothing spent out of it.
so grant writing was here, and then it got moved to here.
Oh, we got 3 different articles this year for grant writing, right?
Right.
Why aren't we consolidating all this into one area?
I think 3.
No, that's what I said.
How
at
you
our
guys
previous-
presented us the
Well,
I said at the previous
walked
meeting, we
into
got
it
5,
last
5,
year.
and 5 this year for grant writing, just to fool the people. It's only 5, it's only 5, it's only 5. Still 15, no matter what we look at it.
And if we didn't use any of this section of it,
We may use it this year.
You may
Yeah,
use
no,
it
you-
this
I
year.
I understand it, but it's just like we got 3 different ones.
Correct, to get it. I mean, you had it there.
Yeah, it's just... It's not a question of
Statement.
following the leader. If we vote for it, they'll vote for it. It's a nice explanation. It'd be good for the people at home.
It's being able to explain to them why there's an increase. It's being able to explain to them why we're keeping it the same, something. I just need to know what the board wishes to do. This is what my observations are.
See, not knowing why they voted these certain articles down, it's difficult to,
because the budget committee voted no on them.
I don't know if that's true,
All of these articles had no recommendations from the budget committee.
but.
Right,
it could've been-
and that's
it could've
fine.
been
That's what the
one
people
line
like to
And
know
that's
what's
fine.
going on.
But I'm just saying, to me, if I was a regular voter and I did not follow and I came in to vote, it would be a red flag for me. I look to see, the budget committee is telling me no.
Yep.
3 out of the 4 articles that you guys voted no on were voted down, and this was one of them.
The
And
only
historically, that's
way-
what people do, because
It's
they
big.
trust us to look through.
Exactly, they want to know why.
The only
So-
way to know where the true heart of the reason why they voted it down is to say, make this a question, this a question, this a question, this a question. Make it every single line item an individual question. To say, do you want to raise and appropriate $3,800 for the Leaf commercial copier? Then do you want to raise another $2,100 for document overage? I don't want to get into that. I don't think you guys want to get into that, okay? I just want to be able to tell the public why this budget increased or decreased and why we're in agreement with that.
What was last year's
And I don't,
budget?
we weren't on the same page
Brady?
in January,
December.
December 20.
As far as the general public looking at all this, one thing that comes to mind is all the copiers and stuff that we've got.
We've asked for them to be put on one.
Right, it should be.
Everybody is except for the library. The library, everybody, I believe, is on one I don't know about the code enforcement officer. I think he's now on yours as well.
All the copies are bought out of franchise fees except for the main copy that's in my office, and library is separate.
The library is
The rest of them
separate.
have all the same
The library
copies.
bought that copier, that's why, Howard. I believe the library bought that. But
But when
it
you
is
have-
getting older and they want to replace it. So that is another area where you can consolidate this. But
But if
That's
you've
not
got-
here
if you-
nor there.
If you've got a category, it should be specific to one area. And I don't see that here. But I realize this has evolved over time, too, so.
Stephanie, some of the stuff that's up there, should it be coming out of franchise fees?
no,
No, okay.
So what if, I mean, if the price, or if the cost goes up and we need to recommend a higher budget, what if we had something available to say, you know, this is higher, but that's because this is what we spent last year?
Right. Right.
And be able to show them that this is what we spent last year, prices of postage and registry of deeds, you know, these things are
increase.
set, and they have increased tenfold, and this is why it's increased.
You think that'll work better than what we've been doing? Just tell them, give us the money and we'll spend it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think people,
One of your biggest problem now is we've been doing this on secret ballot for a few years, and it started with COVID. And people don't get the explanation that they should. And so like this last time, I made a recommendation that you have 2 public hearings. The more that you can get people come to listen, the more that they understand, and they'll more than likely,
But this
Well,
is all,
like-
this was, so
Or
much of
vote.
this is lumped into one thing.
what, this administrative cost?
no, this has always been,
The administrative cost is exactly what it says. It's to run your administrative offices, to run your equipment,
But
to
don't you
run.
don't you think some of this, on a side note, explaining what some of these are, would help?
Well, that's why
I
we have
think,
the green sheet.
I think the general public
I mean, everybody thought it was
understands.
part of your salary, the administrative cost.
When we do the green sheet, I don't know more we can do. We have that
Yep.
available for voting. We had 2 public hearings.
You could call it
Without holding
equipment
everybody's hand.
operation, or whatever you want, you know, that, it's it's the use of administrating your offices, the equipment that you need, I don't know how.
Well, that's what we'd have to
Yeah,
explain
so-
it better.
so one of the things that we did years ago is code enforcement officer put supplies in their budget. The town clerk, tax collector had supplies, the treasurer had supplies. We asked that that all be put under administrative costs. This is one building. Instead of WB Mason coming in here or Staples coming in here every day and delivering a box full of paper, we said,
By bulk.
buy in bulk and store it, and then somebody can walk down the hall. So that's how some of this started, and the same with the postage. We have one postage meter in this building. Not everybody needs their own individual postage meter. So can we start to put that into one budget? And it has developed over time as we have brought this building, because these administrative costs are primarily in this building, to run this building, has consolidated over time as we have brought things in alignment, Howard. So,
Well, we had a situation just here in the past couple of months where Julie's printer went, which was, how old was that printer, Julie?
Less than 2 years.
Yeah.
By the grace of God, I put a
It
warranty
was a
on it.
Staples, Hewlett-Packard deal. Well, we went with, what's the company?
Xerox,
Xerox, for about the same money.
exact same money. And it was a
And
better machine.
it was the
because-
difference between good and junk. But, so I guess maybe got a better buy buying 4 of them than buying 2 of them, but,
Well,
We gotta buy-
we've saved the
we got-
taxpayers money
but we gotta,
by doing what we're doing here,
but by
but
the
it's
same
awful
token, you gotta,
confusing.
by buying quality
Right.
and looking around, instead of just going to one vendor and saying, I need a printer, they say, well, this is the best thing to slice bread, we just say, okay, we'll take
The
it.
4 printers, if I can speak, were ordered by a selectman. The new ones were recommendations from Chris Sample.
What would you guys like to recommend for
An
amount for administrative costs, now that I've pointed out some of my differences and made my point known about what I'd like to see for Modem Waves contract?
That's fair enough.
I'll open it to the board.
I think that this Modem Waves needs to stay up there, especially if we're gonna ask more of him, and there's gonna be higher billing, so that needs to stay and not reduce. And this is just me, Registry of Deeds, where's that one?
So that is right here. We have 3,500. Last year, the budget was 45, they spent 32.5.
Right, and now it's $6 per more.
So
No.
what is the Registry of Deeds?
That's all of the liens.
The liens.
And discharges
discharges.
and foreclosures.
And so when Judy sends those out, she recoups some of that money back, correct?
It's, when it's paid, it does, as well as on the foreclosures. But we've had an awful lot this year of expenditures for the sale of the property, tax acquired. And that's been on trying to get those all recorded right.
So
But I
in a
thought-
sense, some of it's
balanced
reimbursable.
out. It is
It's
reversible. So I think
Somewhat.
if the town's gonna continue to sell town-owned property, 3,500 is a safe place to start, right? But again, I just wanted to make sure that our contracted services was correct.
I mean, I think if we spent almost 7,000 on Spectrum, that needs to go up to 7.
But back to
Right.
Registry of Deeds, when we sell, don't the people pay for that?
Yeah, so if we leave that down where it's at, we can get recouped the cost.
Yeah, and whenever we sell town-owned property, all the administrative fees get reimbursed to us.
That's what I thought, so,
Yeah.
but that doesn't show here.
That's in the revenue.
Right, no, I'm just saying, because we're saying we're spending that, but in essence,
Goes back to the expense line is the way it's been coded. Right, Brady?
That's what I understood that it was supposed to do. Yeah.
Yes.
so that 3,500 that they spent,
If we spend 500 on a lawyer for a property, we sell it, we put 500 back into the legal.
comes back in comes back in the back door. Essentially, that 3,500 you spend, you might get back.
Yeah, and so like on one report, it might say you have 2,700 expended, and the next report, it might say you have 2,500 because
the other
we
thing
got
is
reimbursed.
You don't know that you're gonna get it back in that year. So if we sell land in November, it may not be settled until January and February. We might have expenses in November and December, so so you're not gonna get it back in that same year.
Right, I understand that, but essentially, it's when that 3,500 probably comes back at least 3,000.
Some of it, I
Or
won't
we
say
could
all.
spend 7,000 at the registry and only get 3,500 back.
Yes.
So we still spend the
So upping the spectrum line by 4,000 to get that $7,000 number? Was there any other upping that we wanted to do? Anywhere else, or deductions?
Those are the only two things I wanted to point out.
Yep.
For my discretion.
And I do agree with Lori that if we're gonna ask for more, we should probably keep some in that account. And then if June or November, we have a contract signed that's only gonna be X, Y, and Z, we can move it into another account. We can move it back into the unassigned. Sorry.
Or we can ask to move it to the contingency.
Yep.
Or.
Yep.
So if the numbers in this column add up appropriately, which they should,
49.
it's 49,625.
So I would look for a motion, if we don't want to make any other changes, for Article 4 to read, shall the town vote to raise and appropriate $49,625 for administrative costs for the ensuing year? And Select Board recommends yes.
Second it.
Motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? All right, Select Board recommends yes.
So I got a question. So on this Article 4, when that's written out there, can it say for equipment lease, professional, contracted services?
Instead of saying administrative costs?
Yes. Well, you can say administrative costs and then put that after it. So people understand it's equipment lease, it's
I wouldn't be changing anything right now. I would leave it the way that it is. Administrative costs, I don't think you give the citizens of the town the credit that they deserve. They understand what this terminology is. They understand dollar figures too. You know, they based it on probably the amount of money or a misunderstanding of what it was, but
Well, it just said
admitted-
administrative costs. So what's it gonna be to put 3 different words in there?
where is it in here? Which article is it?
Oh, it's Article 20.
20,
Or are you saying
26.
just in the article?
26.
Are you
26?
saying just in the
Just,
article?
yeah, where the people are gonna
Okay,
Instead of
so,
saying
come in and read
administrative
this
costs,
instead of
say
flipping through this.
administrative costs, training, supplies, equipment leases, and contracted services for the ensuing year.
and so doesn't it say it in the article itself?
No, it
used
does
to.
not.
Okay.
It just says
That's
administrative
what I'm
costs.
saying. I mean, you could have the equipment lease,
Make
the
'em happy,
professional,
do it.
and contract services.
Would the board like to change their vote or add that in?
Article 26?
No, it's-
I'm
what'd you
hearing
say?
nothing from the board.
21.
21.
You want my glasses?
So, Brady,
Am I in the wrong book?
what if we wrote or changed it to administrative costs, contracted services, and related costs?
Yeah, you can make that a motion. Do you want to make that new a motion?
Yeah, I'll make that new motion.
Okay. Is there a second? Did Howard second?
Second it.
Okay. Is there any further discussion? So it would read for administrative costs,
Contracted services.
contracted services.
Just put it on the next line underneath it.
Yeah, just something
No,
to
just
explain.
on here, not the green sheet.
Not the green sheet, just
Just
this.
on here.
Well, you want to be consistent where you're putting stuff.
They need to
Okay,
match.
so if you're putting it on the green sheet, put it on the white sheet too, to be consistent, because a lot of
You can
people
have a
just
green-
read this, and some people just
Well,
read.
the green sheet, I mean,
the
it already
postage.
breaks it down,
Right,
Right.
but
but
the wording up
doesn't,
here, yeah.
doesn't matter.
But
No,
when they
stay
come in to vote,
consistent.
we're gonna hand them another green sheet? Or are we just gonna hand them this?
It's gonna be, it's gonna
Can
be.
I
a
ask a
town
question?
Please.
Yes.
Instead of doing the green sheet, is there a television, we're gonna do this at the fire station, is there a television where we can project something like this
Bigger.
on?
Yeah, the one that's above us, I can verify, but I believe that, we've done it in the past. We did it for Chief Pelletier's retirement. We did a slideshow on that TV. So,
So
yes, there
we could
has to be a way.
Do something like this.
Yep.
So that way they would understand the components which make up administrative costs,
Right.
and we could show them.
And then we wouldn't need to change it.
So contracted services, shall the town vote to raise and appropriate $49,625 for administrative costs, contracted services, and, or are we not doing that
Yeah,
anymore?
we're not gonna change it.
No,
If
but
we're
this-
gonna
she's gonna
have
put
this
this up on the
available and they
board.
can- Sorry.
Okay, no,
So that'll go up so people can see when we come.
That's my recommendation, and that would save a lot of printing time and administrative time
And confusion.
and confusion
Yeah.
to
And who
allow
would-
people to look
who would
like
do
this.
it? Who would make the green sheet?
Who would make this?
Your administrative assistant.
Well, I know tomorrow at 4 PM,
So you better start thinking.
I don't think we're gonna have one before the 30th, so.
But we can put this up there,
Yes, you can clean this up.
because contracted services, somebody may think that's the plowing. Professional,
Yeah, it's
you
true.
think- professionally, they may think that's the lawyer. So what do we, you know, you got to explain to the people, and they'll vote for it.
Generic terms, you get all messed up.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying, if people vote it down, and,
I still think you don't give the citizens enough credit.
no, well, we voted no for a reason,
What was your reason?
because we didn't understand all of that.
Of course you understood. You've been on the budget committee for
25
25
years.
years, my God.
I'm telling you,
So Stephanie, can you do a clean sheet of, here's what we spent?
When's the meeting?
The 30th,
March 30th?
March 30th.
yeah, this year, not next year.
That means I have to attend the March 30th meeting.
Imagine that, you should as a citizen. And a budget committee member.
Tell that to my full-time job that takes me
No,
out of the
no,
state.
you want me to give you?
Hey, I can
no?
give you a part-time job. If you're looking, we can have an interview and interim.
I'm not as nice as Alicia.
We all know that, for God's sakes.
Oh, it's just getting too messy.
Save mileage on your broom, too.
Yeah.
Okay, I love my broom. I rode my broom in here in Halloween, and I love my broom.
Okay,
I know what I
so
want to do with you.
so I'll make a motion, we go with the 49,625,
I didn't hear
Seconded.
that.
with the explanation to be viewed up at the fire station.
We will view it at the fire station. We'll have a cleaned up view.
Okay,
Next,
we got a second, or we got,
I said second.
there you go. You gonna say third?
No, I'm going to abstain.
Abstain.
Okay, so 2 to
Steve?
1.
You haven't asked
So,
me why I'm
yes.
No, no,
abstaining.
it doesn't matter, we're not gonna question you.
I know, good. I'm not going to tell you why.
Will you tell me why?
I thought this would be a
Yeah.
quick meeting.
I will,
Okay.
quick.
Okay, so let's go on to Article 5, which was Article
Okay,
what?
so,
29.
Article 5, 29.
but you've broken out Article 29
All right, so,
to 3 parts.
but it used to be.
Okay.
It never should have been one line.
Well,
Well, so
yours was unique. We broke everything else up except yours.
the article that failed was shall the town vote to raise and appropriate $107,807 for the treasurer's department for the ensuing year.
Okay.
You have now broken that out. Article 5 is, shall the town vote to raise and appropriate $69,534 for the treasurer for the ensuing year? Can you tell me what encompasses the $69,535?
Current budget plus the 2.8% that the town voted on.
What current budget?
last year's budget.
Last year's.
Okay, this is last year's current budget, $106,000.
That's the whole budget.
I understand, so what I'm
You
at.
asked on the wages.
No, I said what components make up the $69,534? So
My
out of this,
wages.
okay, the salary.
That's what it states, treasurer. The next line says deputy treasurer.
Julie, stop, please. Thank you. So
You're welcome.
that is the salary, and is that the FICA that goes along with it?
Well, you have, in that breakdown right there, you've got the FICA for both the deputy and Julie.
Right,
Am I
so
right?
that's what I'm
So that
asking.
we have to break that out between Article 5 and Article 6.
No, the FICA's down farther, if I may speak.
So $69,534 is simply this line, the treasurer's salary, that is without FICA, that is the gross amount.
Yes, ma'am, that's what it says on the green sheet.
Just clear, I'm asking the select board so that they understand.
Sorry,
As well.
you didn't specify.
So,
My one question would be the FICA and Medicare. And I know that number is incorporated under the supplies and equipment, I assume. But isn't that necessarily technically wages, FICA and Medicare? I don't know the equation off the top of my head.
765.
7.6, I don't know, I mean, I don't know the equation to break it up.
Well, you
But-
gotta take each salary times 7.65%.
Right, so
Don't think it's gonna come out right, because I don't think the FICA was added to her vacation.
I just, the one thing I don't think FICA and Medicare is supplies, because that is in this,
No,
that's
that
the
should be
salary.
separate.
Well, all right, where is it on the town clerk, tax collector? Is it in their salary, or is it
It's
next?
broken out, it's a line item, it's an employer cost.
Okay,
So the question, so it is really not supplies and equipment. It
Right.
is a personnel services cost,
okay.
okay? So,
What I'm saying, if it's broken out on the town clerk, tax collector,
No,
can't we?
their total budget has it included in their whole budget.
You know, actually,
They don't break
Actually,
out supplies
Stephanie,
and
would it
equipment.
make more sense here, just looking at this, to actually have an Article 7 for one reason? If you look at the spreadsheet, you've got the salaries and FICA and Medicare and everything in there, but then we go into training and all these other things. Shouldn't that be in a separate article? Because that could actually mean some training in for the deputy. See,
Right,
it's all
so-
inclusive for just under the treasurer.
but this is why, you know, one of the things the citizens asked us was they would like to know what it costs to run a department.
Well,
Okay, and in its entirety, okay? So this is why we put this together with all of these sub. Now you're, and I understand the citizens, but they're going to have to basically add up 3 articles in their head to
Right.
get their total cost.
but
for the
initially
treasurer's
looking
fund.
at, the question was, reason why I think this didn't pass was because you had a large figure, and it was, they thought that Julie was getting $90,000, which was not the case. But what I'm saying, if we put all these additional supplies and everything else in another article, that is the support of these other 2 articles.
Well, I can't tell you why it initially failed, but I can tell you that I thought the green sheet had her at 69,534 and her deputy. So the green sheet, if the citizens were following it, would realize that her salary is,
What's the line above it, and there's your $90,000 that the public followed.
I'm looking at the green sheet and I have 2 numbers, 69 and 24, and I see no 90.
You know, we keep talking about this green sheet, and
I
this,
understand that, Howard, but
and I think that ought to be eliminated in the future.
You don't want to
You don't.
eliminate it. It's for the treasurer's use to put into into Trio for her budgetary.
But for the sake of voting on it, Wendy, if somebody's reading this, then they're gonna go and look at another sheet, there could be some
so
misconceptions here.
Bouncing
are
back and
you,
forth.
the 90,000 is referring to the expense summary sheet, which I don't know that the public had at the time of the vote.
It was on the website.
Okay, it's on the website, but it wasn't something that went with the town report. I understand that this 90,000 is a breakout of both the treasurer and the deputy, okay? So, the question that I have is, when I look at this, personnel services comes in at 81,608. Is that, am I reading that correctly? So how much of that 81,608 is the 65,440 salary for the treasurer and the 16,104 in pay, the deputy, on the expense report that I'm looking at, that I've been handed?
Salary would be the treasurer, pay would be
The deputy.
the deputy, because that's
Okay.
how the treasurer gets paid, is a salary in her, the
And other
deputy.
people that helped during the course.
Yep.
Correct, okay. So, I'm just gonna take, I'm just gonna update my numbers here so that everybody can see what I'm looking at. Okay, so 65,440.78 is the salary for the treasurer, okay? And 16,168 these two numbers are 81,608.95, which is the personnel services on the expense summary report that you see here. So we agreed to a 2.7% COLA.
2.8.
Yeah, but you... Oh, wait a minute.
So if I take the actuals and do the 2.8% COLA increase, that is only 67,273, and she's got 69 in here. It's a bigger pay raise than what we've allotted. And than what you guys allotted as a board.
It's got to be what the previous one plus the COLA, and that's it.
She's only at, the article here is for 69,539, Howard, which is
I
just
know
her
that.
salary. So if I'm comparing apples to apples, this is what she was physically paid based on the expense. If I take what she was physically paid for 62 weeks and mark it up by the 2.8 increase that we all agreed to, right, to follow, that is 67,000, not 69.
I think the number was added to what was budgeted.
That's my problem with this year's budget.
Yep.
That was my problem with this entire warrant.
The 2.8 was added to
The
it.
2.8% was added to the budgeted salary of
Which is why
67,648.
every single budget that was voted and approved has a contingency budget already built in of at least $3,000 to $5,000. Was my problem and why I voted almost every article down. Because you guys did it on the budget
3
and
to
not on the actuals.
3.5%.
No, you did it off the budget, Howard, not the actuals that we spent.
Yes.
Yes.
But that's because that's, you know,
Well, no, we had 11 months worth of
Have to go-
actual expenditures.
right, we had, but we didn't have the final,
Doesn't, so,
but, yeah, but that's how, yeah.
That 3% never should have been.
thank you.
Okay, so
So I think...
So then, if you take and add in the FICA, which is this, times 0.0765 is the FICA rate, okay? So if you wanted to add in, whoops. That would be the salary and the and the FICA to go with it. And it should say, raise and appropriate for the treasurer for wages and FICA, Medicare.
okay.
And
It
put
shouldn't say for the
put
treasurer.
supplies and stuff in another article.
Yes, this,
Yeah.
if you're going to put Article 5 for salaries and FICA only, it should be specified that that's what, the only thing it will be used for.
Exactly.
And I'll just say the reason why I'm worried about that is because if we approve the salary, or if the voters approve the salary and not the supplies, and that's where the FICA
I don't think
is.
that's going to happen.
Oh, I
no.
don't think so either, but.
Well, he's
if
saying
the-
put the FICA in with the Article 5.
That's what I'm saying.
And that's what we should be
This
doing.
takes care of the wages, period.
Well,
Yeah,
it
and-
takes care of her salary.
And that's what I'm saying. And then you need to modify the wording of Article 5 on your on your
Right.
paperwork to say,
Include FICA.
for the treasurer's wages and payroll costs, okay, that would, and you can say FICA Medicaid, okay, for the ensuing year, but the treasurer's salary and FICA and Medicaid for the ensuing year.
And we do the same thing on Article 6.
Yes.
Yes,
And then we
We'll
do
talk
an
about
Article
that.
7 for the supplies. Or
Which
the remainder, I should say.
Yeah, well, it'd be
yeah,
it'd be less.
and you've got to specify it a little bit differently, because you also need to bring in the vacation for the treasurer up in Article 6.
It's not in the budget. That's for the deputy.
I mean, deputy treasurer.
May I
It's
make a
already in the salary.
Oh, you got another line.
I think you should model this the way that it was done years ago, is keep it all together. That you're going to have an open town meeting.
I
The
was just
people
gonna say,
have, the people have the right to the dollar amount's going to be in the body of the article, so they can't raise it, but they can lower it. That's up to them, that's to the voters.
Right.
But I don't want to be Julie doing these books this year with 5 different articles on her one budget, and you're going to be there and you're going to be explaining it.
Well, and I mean, I agree, agree and disagree in a way, because like, there's a tax collector budget and then the deputy tax collector.
The only
But that's
reason,
because we were
But
hiring new.
But when Anastasia was here, there was a deputy budget as well.
There was 2 budgets then.
There's always
But
two
when,
budgets.
you know,
But
I know
it
what
shouldn't be
you're saying,
a separate supply
but
budget,
when
I
we're
don't think.
looking for them to approve that, and if you say, well, look, here's the salaries, that's
Mm-hmm.
broken down. As far as Julie's concerned, when it comes to these other,
Oh, yeah,
the
she can plug
supplies
them
and
in there.
stuff, you just apply them in there, and, but the
right, but
people don't have to know that's being applied to that
well, yes, they know
area.
it's going to be applied to that, but reference it or just make
I'm
it
just,
one
I'm just looking at
article.
something's gonna be palatable to the general public,
It
and
doesn't matter if it's all one or if it's
Well-
5 separate ones. That's my opinion. That's my
I
opinion.
disagree, because
But the
You know,
the
I mean,
problem
you
is,
you don't wanna mix supplies of paper in with a salary, and that's basically what you're doing right there.
So all your other articles, did they say, shall the town vote to raise and appropriate, blah, for the treasurer and the operations, all general operations, FICA, supplies, training?
Well, we'll
and
look at
consumer.
like code enforcement has the code enforcement officer, the code enforcement secretary, employer's cost, which is the FICA vacation, training, travel expense. I believe that one could be broken out a little bit more. But if we look at the,
So now,
Fire
so now,
department's broken out.
you're going back to 20 years ago when you had 70 articles. So let me tell you, standing there voting on 70
we're
articles
pretty-
by secret
we're
ballot,
close now, yeah, I know, it's,
we went from about
we
70.
did good this year.
We went from 70 to 80 down to
But what's wrong with it?
what, 70, vote for 70
What's
articles?
wrong with having a town meeting? Instead of ballot.
That's another night.
Yeah.
Because you
Okay.
because you have
do-
351 show up for secret ballot and 20 show up for
I-
a Saturday meeting.
That's what
I-
people
Now,
want.
what's the,
Can I-
what's,
I think if we went back to town meetings right now, we might as well plan on 3 weekends. The way people are questioning things.
Oh, they have
Can
a
I-
right.
they
Julie, let
have
Julie
reason
say
to question
something.
That's
things.
right,
Can I ask something?
Can we let
Why-
Julie ask first? She had her hand up first. Go ahead.
Okay, my question is, they're not gonna be able to reduce the salaries because I went in at the 2.8% that the town has already voted on. So that's the minimum that's going to be, is my understanding, unless you're gonna go with more new policies.
No, I was just saying that if the dollar amount is within the body of the article, the citizens themselves
Can
can,
make a recommendation
they
to
can
lower it.
lower it, but they can't raise it. I'm not saying that they're going to do that, but that's the rules of the articles. Is that, I'm not saying,
I understand that, because I've worked for enough years with a town, on a town meeting,
Yeah.
so I understand.
Yeah.
But it just seems that this budget is getting picked on right from the get-go, and I'm not saying it's because of me, because you've gone to one line and it didn't used to be by my predecessor. Now it's out there because they looked at the expenditures and certain bodies, there's a certain little clip, and it started in this office, this building as well, that made it to me, and I'm not pointing fingers at nobody, but I've got the proof, okay? That I'm padding my time card. How can I pad my time when the payroll company does my payroll, the selectmen see my time sheet, which I don't even have to turn in by law, and they're signing the warrant every week, and it's the same amount. Secondly, I'm making $90,000. I wished I was, but I'm not. I didn't put in originally for a raise. I think Lori will contest to that. I didn't know anything about the 2.8. Neither one of Sue or I, we had enough money. We both agreed, and we talked. But now there's more money in for that. You don't have your expenses on me, because I didn't know anything about the franchise fees, buying copiers. Well, I bought my copier out of my budget. I bought my shredder out of my budget. and by the grace of God, I put a warranty on the copier. I got every cent back, so the new copier didn't cost us anything. Well, it did because the ink's more. But what I'm saying is now everybody is buying the same copier that I've got. I've done my damnedest to save money in my budget, and I'm condemned because they can't read what it is, and that's why I was instructed to break it out.
I don't think you need to break it out. I think it should be all one, because it is this is my opinion. It's the treasurer's department, it's the CEO's department, it's the selectman's department. And so, no, you want, I, myself, as a citizen, want to know what you're spending on the whole department. That's what I look at. I want to look at what I'm spending on town clerk, tax collector. At some point, you got to bring it all together so you can show people the whole thing instead of piecemealing it. Now you're going to add up how many lines of data to come up with the total.
The whole trouble here is you're looking at it from an accounting standpoint, and the person that's reading that article is being a little bit pickier, if you will.
I don't think that.
I'm not looking at it from an accounting standpoint. I'm looking at it from an accounting standpoint. I'm looking at it from a citizen, and I give credit to the people of this town that they can read and they do understand. We do a lot of speculating on why this article didn't pass or why that article passed. Maybe it was on this article that people said, oh my God, because it wasn't.
Oh my God, she's making $107,000.
Right.
It's all how it's presented to the voter.
That's right.
But Howard, if I remember correctly, the treasurer's budget, the budget committee and the select board recommended yes.
Yes.
So we all voted yes, and it still failed. So it wasn't anything that was presented to us, so somewhere.
So perhaps we leave it as it is, and at the town meeting, at the special town meeting, we can have this up here and we can actually explain it to the people that are there voting.
I'm abstaining because you're changing what I originally voted on completely. And other citizens that may, whatever way they voted, you're changing it. And so you should present it the way that it was originally presented.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Is present it the way it was, leave the number the way it was, but have that available to explain, since it will actually be at a meeting where people can ask questions, it can be explained, and they can have that visual display. Because I know when we came in here to vote, I did not see one person with a green sheet.
Right,
Not one.
and I don't think everybody had this in their voting booth either.
Right.
So.
So they're not seeing the visual. But my question was, where is the tax collector and town clerk's printer, lodging? I mean, their costs are not in their budget. Their costs are elsewhere.
No.
They have $500 for supplies.
A
but
lot
they
of their
don't have
training was
equipment.
done online.
But their equipment isn't on there.
Well, if they need equipment, it could be bought out of franchise fees. A computer, a laptop, those things are bought out of franchise fees.
Okay.
Town clerk
We don't
has
buy software out of
travel
franchise fees.
supplies.
And there is a problem. As far as all, like I said before, the equipment, if it's all grouped in for supplies and everything else, you draw from a major point, as opposed to saying, well, I want this type of pencil, and the other one wants a different color pencil.
Let me say something else. So you have the tax collector, town clerk, and the treasurer, which are elected officials.
They won't be.
They won't be, but right at this moment.
At this moment, they are.
Right at this
Tonight
moment.
they are.
At this
Right.
moment, they are elected officials, and do you want to commingle those separate offices? Because technically, the treasurer can have her office outside of this building, and so can the town clerk and tax collector. They would be asking for these things to run their office. I'm not trying to be difficult, I'm just trying to make,
And you're right on.
in the eyes, open eyes.
This is the only article that you broke out. The other three you left as they were originally written. So I was just trying to understand why
You
we broke that out into 3 versus keeping it as originally written. And Julie has explained that, and I understand, but I agree that it should be presented back to the people as originally written.
And you can,
Can
on,
I give you an idea? Make it all easier? All right, go with your one line, do your brackets like what Brady said with descriptions. Treasurer, deputy treasurer.
Well, that's
and
what we're proposing. We're proposing that we would show
No,
this.
don't show that, put it on here.
Yeah,
Incorrect.
why not have the same article, is what she's saying.
Treasurer,
Treasurer is at
Deputy.
69 or whatever we
Why wouldn't
settle
we-
on.
Then why don't we go back to Article 2, 3, and 4 and put the individual line
no, I'm
items?
not saying for the dollar amount, this is what it's covering, because like, I'm the one that added
Those are
the
different.
definitions on
No.
Article 3.
No, because what you're asking for is to have the one article and then say salary, training, supplies, equipment, membership dues, and professional. How is that any different than going back to Article 4, where instead of listed, you wanted, Steve, this administrative cost, you wanted training, equipment, lease, and
Right.
contracted service, in the article, why not list those? We decided that we were gonna show this green sheet
Okay,
up
so we'll
there.
show,
So why
we'll
not
show
the same thing?
for her
But you
thing.
changed Article 3.
No, we didn't. Did not
The
change our,
auditor, dues, insurance, software, and legal. You changed it,
no.
because it always said professional and legal.
Did you guys change the original article in 3?
Yes.
Okay.
So,
Wait,
you know what I say?
I don't have that written
Copy
down.
and paste that spreadsheet, those articles that you have,
Right.
take out the extraneous information.
right, because this is my view.
Yep. No, no, what I'm saying is that, so when you go to the town meeting, you have it broken down for the people to vote on.
Yeah, they would see what what I would do, if you guys are okay with it, is I would say, this is the 2025 budget, this is what we actually spent in 2026, using the expense summary and the expense detail reports, to the best of my ability, and then this is what you are asking for 2026. So they would see these individual line items
Okay.
as is, just like this. A little cleaner, Howard, I cleaned it up.
Cleaner and bigger, because the biggest stink I've got to this whole thing is, most
You need
people
a
in,
thicker set of glasses.
most people in town were saying she was making 90,000 or she was making 107,000. That's the misconception to this whole budget. So people have got to be able to see that she's at 67 or
again,
whatever it is.
If people read the green sheet, they would know that neither one of those numbers are
Green
correct.
sheet and write it up.
Doesn't matter.
Well, I bet you there wasn't 10% of this green sheet coming in for voting.
Well, I can't help that, it was available to them.
Well, it doesn't matter if it's
Well, they
available.
probably looked online, because it was available to them
Yeah.
online. They probably talked to their neighbors or their friends or their cousins or whoever
Yeah.
to find out. People, when they go vote for money articles, you're gonna have probably almost half of them vote everything down because they don't want to spend any money, period. And then I do not look at people like they don't know what
But it
we
was
talk
said at the
about.
public hearing, that,
Hmm?
it was said at the public hearing, it was $107,000 that she was making. At the
Well,
public
that should
hearing
be
at the-
corrected at the
And
public
it
hearing.
came out on
Yeah.
Facebook, too.
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
I don't
but-
recall
don't
them
pay
saying
We tried to.
107. That should have been corrected
It's a town meeting.
at the public hearing. Someone should have said, no, she's not making $107,000. That's her whole
I think
budget.
that was a question at the public hearing, and I elaborated on that. I can go back and look, but
Again, this is, I know you guys hate these computers, and I know you hate this, but this is your friend in that instance. Okay? Because this would have shown that she wasn't making that. And my recommendation is at public hearings, you start using this equipment that you
We
got.
had those
There is,
available
there is a
back
job
then.
opening here, sweetheart.
You can't pay me enough. And these
We've offered
guys,
twice tonight.
I'll be fired within 5 minutes.
Okay, so let's
Anyway.
figure out what we're gonna do.
So do we wanna make a motion to keep the article as it was written?
With a visual,
And scrap Article 6 and 7, and just leave Article 5.
yes.
With this explanation.
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
With the idea that this explanation will be presented.
Presented up
at
on the screen,
On the screen.
Okay.
on the screen.
Is there a motion?
So moved. Second it.
Is there any discussion? The only discussion that I have is,
You've got to change the total by $1, please.
Are you allowed, I was gonna say, I don't think you're allowed to go back if the citizens the exact same amount.
the only thing that, when I thought of breaking this out,
Straighten out what you,
when I thought of breaking this out, oh, there's my other pen. I was wondering where that went. I was thinking that the town clerk and the deputy town clerk is separated out. The treasurer, or not, the tax collector and the deputy tax collector is broken out. And so I wanted to give the same courtesy to this office.
Was it broken out last year?
Yes.
Yes, but it was one person last year, so it was deputy tax collector / town
Right,
clerk.
it was all
But it
under
was-
general operations.
It had its own article, it had its own
What I'm doing,
budget.
What's happening, and is that you're breaking out everything from the major articles. 'Cause the articles used to be like
General
general
government.
operations. That's what you needed to run the whole town. Then you
Yep.
had snow plowing contracts, what you need for, or contracts themselves, or capital reserves. So by doing that, you would have to go back to structuring the
Yep.
way it was before I put it the way it is now. Not now, but prior. And
Oh, I mean,
people, you know, you have, well, they're gonna, it did end up happening to you. You had a $10,000 item in that article, right? What should have been done is to break it out, because people were voting in that, the general operations. You have to have these people to run this building. And one of the things that you don't have anymore is that if you took, so now you got 2026, you're raising and appropriating 2026. 2025, you could say, this is what we spent in 2025, compare the two. Some people like that, they could tell,
that's fine.
but when you start deconstructing something that's been constructed, you lose its whole meaning and substance, so.
Okay, the
That's all I had to say.
question I got, Julie, you were out of the room, but she was saying, and Brady said that they added the 2.8.
I guess the question is, this number for your salary, was that added to, the 2.8% added to what was budgeted last year?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
There's
so
some confusion on if it was added to what was budgeted or what was expended, and I said it was added to what was budgeted.
Budgeted for my salary went
Yep.
up 2.8, the same way with my deputy.
Yep, and some of the conversation was that the expended amount was a couple $1,000s less, and so they were wondering.
Not the equipment.
Jesus Christ, $250,000.
Okay,
Not the equipment, Brady.
so can we come out with a final figure, Stephanie's?
They're
So-
talking about the salary.
Oh,
line.
salaries, the more, because you had 5 people.
Sleep
and
good tonight, Jerry.
One was getting paid $40 an hour.
Well, no, it came in less.
Yes,
than
but I
that,
missed,
so.
yes, it would.
All right, so we're gonna try to come up with a final figure.
So, for the treasurer, according to the expense summary report dated 1/5/2026, personnel services for the treasurer was $65,440.78. Okay?
Did you miss any pay for work? Oh, okay.
I took that amount and I times it by 2.8. That is $67,273.12 versus the $69,534.
Can I go check my thing in the office just to make sure? I don't know what I'm making an hour, I'm sorry.
No, I'm just going off what I have in front of me, that if,
If you go by what I passed you from Alicia's office, you've got last year's budget and this year's. You can't go by last year's because you had other people in there. You had a LePage, you had 2 LePages, and you had a May. And that's why,
so I asked this question at the very start of this conversation. Under on the expense summary report, personnel services for the treasurer's budget, there are 2 line items, salary and pay. The pay are the deputies. or the interim. The salary is what we paid the physical treasurer.
Right.
You're saying yes, she's saying no. Over here,
Because Laura, that's why I said, would you please give me a minute, and I'll run down and give you the exact figures, because I did it in a right to know.
Okay, so last year for, it was 67,648.
yes, that's what was budgeted, 67.
Yeah, don't look at what, this is, you're on the line of what she's got paid net. You want to look at her 67, that's what was raised in the.
No, that's what was budgeted.
Yes,
So now I'm trying to figure out what she was physically paid.
She's going to get that document.
What is her physical expenditure? Because this is the problem that I have with this entire budget, is that they took the budget number and increased it by either 3.5 or 2.8. That doesn't match what we physically spent. So to me, if you're gonna increase a budget, you look at what you physically spent, and then you increase the
I
budget.
don't think she increased that before she came in with that
Well,
3.5%.
No.
She budgeted
but
67.
you,
So I took what she's actually spent.
why are you
65.
taking what she actually spent when last year what was raised and appropriated was $67,648?
So we're gonna increase, why, just because we raised it doesn't mean we spent it all.
Do you know if there's anything with accrual or anything in there? Accrued payroll?
That's why I asked the very strategic question, what is in that line item? What did that is her pay. She said, everybody sat here and goes, yes, that's what she was paid.
But this right here says that's what was budgeted.
Exactly.
I understand
you're
what was
right.
budgeted, doesn't mean that's what we spent.
Welcome back, Julie.
Welcome back, Julie.
Why do you want to know what was spent? Because I am not quite,
Because the rate, the pay raises should be on either what they're making an hour, their hourly rate, or what we physically spent. She's salary. She gets the same paycheck,
right,
So
so,
that's gonna be outlined, redneck.
but she didn't spend everything she was budgeted.
No,
Exactly. What was your physical end of year salary?
my physical,
Reported on your W-2.
$65,440.78.
That's what I'm using right here,
and why was it
65,000.
less than the 67,000 that was raised and appropriated?
You saved us money, so let's.
I know that, but I'm asking their
I
question.
don't know. The payday would probably fell on
We had an extra
the next
payday.
month.
We paid 1 year, just like we did in this last year. You had your last payroll was in 25
The last
instead of
week of
26.
So you got payroll from 25 going into 26. Do you have that?
We only have a few accrual days, but if excuse me.
But you're not still gonna spend the 69,000.
Okay, this is where everything in last year's budget, Laura, Dottie, Sue, me, for a little bit to make up, because I was told to expend that line to make it go.
There's
So
only much
this
longer
is a
there.
voided check, so that's not all in that line. The total balance was 81,000, and that's what it says up here.
Right, so what I did is I took your physical 65,440.78
Okay? And multiply it by .0.
and .028 to get 67,273.12 in the salary.
Okay, that's in the
Did we do this with the tax collector and the town clerk as well? To get their increase if they requested
Yes,
one?
I asked them I looked at what they're physically,
I just want to make
their
sure.
salaries. Yeah, their salaries. That's why I specifically asked.
I don't agree with that, because if there's accrued payroll that she had 3 days of accrual this year and it went into January, that she was still being paid, her annual salary is
Right.
67,648.
I'm just trying to understand
your salary, correct?
salary. You get the same amount of money every week for 52 weeks.
Yes.
So it breaks down to X amount a day. So, yeah, if
So
there's
if-
any accrued days, that should go back onto that amount.
But it doesn't, it goes into the.
It goes into the next year.
It goes into the next year, but you can't short someone 3 days' worth of payroll that's being accrued to the next year, because now next year, you're gonna base
What's
it,
that got to do with it?
huh? Accrued?
Trying to
If-
make
if-
sure we're in
If
line.
we approved
Yes, you did.
that 60, whatever
Seven.
it is, last year,
That's what she
then
should
add
have made.
2.5, 2.8
Great, I
to
know,
it
I'm not the one
and
with the
call it
problem.
quits.
I'm not the one having the issue.
That's what was done.
Right, so it's not making round now.
That's what was done. And the conversation at hand is that the 67, 648 was not spent
But
fully. Oh, I'm in agreement of keeping it the way we did it. I don't think,
I'm just saying, is it in line? That's all.
it should be in line with
So-
everybody, because everybody in this building, I would imagine, if they get a paycheck, they may have some accrued payroll that went to January.
Right.
And so you're gonna lose, someone could lose $1,000.
So where do you want to take the dollar? Because you can't present the same amount. So where do you want to take the dollar?
Okay, so can you figure the FICA Medicare to make sure that that's accurate? Because, yeah,
I'll do it over here.
okay.
So you have to take her
Yep,
plus
Yep.
this,
Yep.
plus the vacation.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Times .0765.
7258.
0765. 7236. Yeah, so we rounded
So-
up.
So what if we put it at 7236? Bam, we got that dollar.
Take out your mileage and lodging, move it down to.
I'd rather go
$1.
advertising 99.9, I'd rather go $99 in advertising.
Yeah?
Whatever you want.
why don't we go up to 13,215 on, we can go up $1 too.
You can go up $1. You can go 101 on
Let's
advertising.
go 50 cents.
You want 100.50?
99 on
Where you coming up
advertising.
with?
Do you think that people are actually gonna care?
I was just joking, I was
No,
being
no, but she's got
facetious.
Oh, but we can tell them we went down on the budget.
Oh,
You round up.
yes, I know.
Steve,
They asked me
they've
what the
already
exact
forgotten.
amount was. And that's what I said, she
But we
rounded
can't
up
have it the
60
same,
cents.
so.
Thank you. Sorry.
No, it's up to the select board. You
Yeah.
guys pick a number, let's go.
I am fine with making advertising $101 or $99.
101.
101, okay.
So you're increasing the budget.
Bid, please.
Yes, it will be on Facebook tonight that I am increasing your budget. So the total budget is, someone read it for me, please.
107,808.
One person. 107.
808.
That just rhymes better. I would look for a motion. Oh. To keep the wording the exact same
For Article 29.
for Article 29. We're changing the article to Article 5. Select Board is recommending a yes vote, and the number is changing by $1 amount upwards,
With explanation.
with explanation to be showed.
Visual
I'll
explanation.
make the motion to accept that.
And how much again?
I'll second it.
107,808.
Okay, there's a motion, there's a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? All right. Select Board recommends yes.
How does the budget, I think we've discussed this to death.
Really? Imagine that. Some of us have been quiet. But,
That's
If you
unusual.
have any discussion, Steve, now would be the time.
yes, I make a motion that we accept it
Okay, second.
Abstain.
with the visual explanation at the town meeting.
You will provide.
Oh, yeah, I'll bring the signboard right up there.
All those in favor of the Budget Committee?
All those in favor? And then we are scrapping Articles 6 and 7. Is that appropriate?
Yep.
Thank you, Jesus.
With that, I think we're going to get the changes, is the plan to have them typed up? Yeah, the changes will get typed, we have to sign them, but if there's no further discussion from either board, is there any discussion?
Do we just take a break and then do you guys have to approve them on air? or no?
No, we already made yes vote on everything, and you guys did too, so
I would like to make a motion to adjourn.
I will second that motion.
We're gonna sign this tonight, or
We
come
have
back?
we have to wait for Alicia to type them, and then we'll sign them.
Should we get paid time and a half for that?
We should get paid time.
Alicia had a
Plus
laptop. She could do it right
2.8%.
now.
We should have an
2.8.
increase.
If I have one,
I'll entertain a motion to
Who's
adjourn.
buying the beer?
We already did that in second. All in favor of
All in
adjourning?
favor of adjournment?
All right, meeting's closed.
Meeting's closed. Thank you. Good night.
And in case you were wondering what I wrote on my sticky note, I wrote, I want a burger.
You want a what?
I want a raise.
I want a burger.
A burger?
A burger.
You're in
Oh, the mics are still on?
Nice going, Burger King.